Good afternoon, everybody. I want to talk about Mohbad's case and the closing of my investigation. Today is the 10th of September 2024, and the anniversary of Mohbad's death will be in 2 days, which is the 12th of September. And today, the 10th, is a very strategic day for me. And I'm doing this part of the video in English. I will turn into Yoruba a little bit later. What I want to explain to you right now, I'm Dr. Kemi. I'm an investigative journalist of 3 decades, 30 years, and I've retired. This was my last investigation, and it was so passionate to me that I spent a lot of money. The total we have is $10,200, and 80% of that was my money. I am overwhelmed and just tired of what they turned this case into at the Nigerian police. The case became the subject of everybody on social media platforms, from TikTok lives to all kinds of different shows, and they turned it into a rhetoric entertainment show. This is not an entertainment story. It's a crime story. And the police has refused to declare this a homicide. So I went after them. I made videos. I made posts. I did a lot in this 12 months. And today is 1 year that Mohbad actually went out of his house to a concert, which will be his first locally billed concert as an independent artist in Ikorodu on September 10th, 2023. A lot of you went to that concert. Cubana Chief Priest and Soso Berekon. They were also organizers and sponsors of the General Beaters. It's a year and they haven't said a word on this case. They have not called Mohbad's father. They have not said condolences to anybody in his family. I find it very strange, but who am I to, even interrogate that? A concert happened a year ago today. And the timeline of what happened after the concert is what baffles everybody. I went out and I spent $10,200 to investigate what happened from leaving that concert to the house and to the hospital that declared Mohbad dead. You guys remember me waking up on that morning and telling you that I have some bad news. Very early in the morning I said, I don't know, something I want to tell you, but I just can't. Because technically I can't tell you Mohbad is dead if his family don't know that. That's how journalism is done. You can't notify the public before the family. So I waited about 4 o'clock and I just put a Facebook note up, and you guys saw my Facebook posting. I posted it this morning, September 10th, 2024, a year later. Now, what I want to say is my final findings is straight up and direct. I have done a lot of investigations in my career. In the 11 years I was in Nigeria, I did many. And a lot of that, police looked at it, and somehow it mirrored their investigation, or they incorporated very important facts. We as investigative journalists, we work alongside police in US and Canada, but at the same time, we can't compromise the case. There are things the police must not tell us, okay, because it could compromise the case, because we are still journalists. So you should know how it is. I'm wearing this hat here, Toronto Police Service. This was my hat when I volunteered for Toronto Police when we went to homicide scenes. At the homicide scenes, I was the person that had to film the dead body of the person that was most likely shot, all the blood, everything. I'm the one that has to do all that and put it on the police YouTube at Toronto Police. I did all that stuff for the police as a volunteer. And I was also an investigative journalist and a gun violence advocate in the community. I helped them solve 13 murders, and this Mohbad case was very easy. I interviewed 8 people, total of 8 people I interviewed. When I say I interviewed, I spoke to them either in person or on the phone. 4 of them live in that very house with Mohbad. A total of 15 people stayed in that house. 4 from that house spoke to me, and 4 on that street spoke to me. These are Mohbad's neighbors. The one very critical thing I picked on the first day of my investigation is that, why did a nurse come from another country to treat Mohbad, who was a stone throw from a hospital near his home? So there was a fight in the house, and the fight started in the car after the concert. After Mohbad, who was visibly impaired, tipsy, drunk, high, had that fist accident when he and Prime Boy, were arguing, and Prime Boy was trying to protect him from being harmed when they were leaving. Mohbad came out, opened the door, and then punched the car by mistake. After that hand injury, the main thing is to go to the hospital to make sure you don't get an infection. But the fight continued in the car. Prime Boy did not go to the house with them, and the fight spilled over. Argument was mostly about a child's paternity and a Canadian visa. The driver of the car, Felix, heard the conversations, and that's why Felix is testifying tomorrow, September 11th, at the inquest. What he has to say tomorrow will be critical. I've closed my case today, but I will be watching as an ordinary citizen. I'm not going to be filing any more reports. What you need to know is by the time they came out and the argument went inside, the fight really got physical. Wunmi and Mohbad had a toxic relationship. They always attacked each other physically. They always beat each other up. Wunmi beat Mohbad, Mohbad beat Wunmi. The fight on the 3rd Mainland Bridge had the driver stop. From what I hear, Spending was the driver of that car. I'm not sure. But whoever the driver was stopped. I don't know exactly which one of them was driving that car. But Wunmi came out, dropped Liam on the ground on 3rd Mainland Bridge. And Spending, I heard, took the baby and gave the baby to Mohbad. Mohbad was carrying the baby, visibly about to throw the baby in the 3rd Mainland Bridge water. And they grabbed the baby from him. They stopped him. He was going to throw that baby. What if he threw the baby? So at that point, I determined there's a paternity issue. And I told Nigerian not to donate for this woman. And she should get a DNA for that test, because that child may not be Mohbad's child, and Mohbad has been fighting her because of that child. At that point, Iyabo Ojo came in and started to distract me by posting videos of me after prison, crying for money for my, PTSD help. I don't know. She thought maybe I'll be embarrassed. Iyabo thinks some little things will embarrass you and you'll stop talking. This woman was a porn star. Iyabo was having sex on camera in the Benin Republic before she came to Nollywood. That was her way to start films. She was fucking men on camera. And at the end of the day, she thinks she can put videos of VDM masturbating. Kemi, you don't know you're crying, and we will shut up and we won't talk again. That's when we started talking. You cannot stop us from finding the truth, Iyabo. And at the end of the day, in my investigation, if I fast forward, Iyabo was actually in Mohbad's house the very night he was killed. That's why she has a lot of information, like telling you, she misfires a lot. She told you that Mohbad died in the house. How did she know? She was there. Remember what she said down the line? I will send you back to prison. That's when I said, wait, hold on. Did you send me to prison? No, she didn't, but she kept me there. So police officer used to send her money from one of the prosecutors, Kemi Okoko, the billionaire, spiritual son of Ibiyomi that prosecuted the case, was paying her to stay home. So when we get to court, they'll adjourn the case again because Iyabo Ojo is not in court. She's filming in Australia. If I had to open that case again, a lot of people will be charged with perjury, like the police prosecutors and the Ibiyomi lawyers, but it's no sense. If I really want to, I will. Why? Because Kenebi's dead. The Attorney General is dead. The key people, they're all dead. But the main thing is that Iyabo misfires. That's how she went to say that. I'm just so glad I didn't write my prison book. She misfires and says things she's not supposed to even open. Mohbad died in the house. That's when I found out she was actually in the house. One of the witnesses said she was the one with Mohbad. Well, they said that Wunmi was cooking Indomie, and when the nurse gave the 3 injections that caused the goosebumps and Mohbad died. No, it was the other way around. It was Yabo in the kitchen. Wumi was next to the nurse. So Wumi